What is going on, everybody? I am now going to box. I'm going to be an ant class, really, really small, but...
Do you have a good right hook?
I have a good left hook.
You have a good... Oh, okay. All right, just want to make sure of that. And while you are taking up boxing, I am going to take up karate. Hi, 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 hi. Yes. And there's so many other sports that we could take up. But you know what? We'll save that for later on in the show when we find out what Ace Calhoun is so good at athletically. It's John and Jason back at you with another episode of Mattalk. Jason, how you doing, man?
John, I'm doing well, man. I am doing well. I watched Matlock because I've been doing it early, trying to be, the good podcaster that I am. But I watched Murder, She Wrote afterwards, and halfway through Murder, She Wrote, I had to stop it and rewatch Matlock because the Murder, She Wrote episode was about boxing. And after a couple days, I couldn't remember if this episode had somebody paying for them to take a fall or if that was Murder, She Wrote. So I definitely had to go back and rewatch the episode.
Didn't you say that the boxer on the Murder, She Wrote episode was LeVar Burton from Reading Rainbow?
I think so. I think that was him. He's in the episode.
Okay, he may not be the boxer, but he's in the episode then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to go back and be sure before I give anything here. But yeah, man. So that was fun to check that out.
What season are you on when it comes to Murder, She Wrote?
Season 3. I stopped for a while to watch Columbo and then a bunch of other stuff, but I'm back on it. And then today I watched the new episode of Orphan Black Echoes, which I love that show. It gets better with each episode. And yeah, it's been a good day. It's been a good day.
Well, that's cool. Anything else you've been watching besides Orphan Black?
Watched a Hallmark movie today, and spoiler alert, I was really shocked, man. I didn't see it coming. They got together.
But your daughter called you out on that, didn't she?
Oh, yeah, of course. She's like, Dad, they always get back together. They always get together. You don't know.
This might have been the one that they don't. Think about that. Think about that.
One of these days, I'm going to assume they're together, and then they're not going to get together, and then I'm going to look like an idiot.
I want to know the first time that happens, that they make one and they don't get together. Like, how earth-shattering is that going to be for the fans of Hallmark movies?
I don't know, man. That's a good question.
That's a great question.
I'm still confused about the ghost one.
The ghost one?
Yeah, this lady falls in love with a ghost who lives in an inn. And at the end of it, I think he becomes like a human again and no longer a ghost. I'm still kind of vague on how that worked out. But
they stole that from Star Trek Next Generation.
Well, whatever, it happened, and did she die and they lived together that way, or did he come back to life? I don't know.
The Star Trek Next Generation one is when Beverly Crusher makes love to a ghost, like this ghost, this very handsome fellow, and she has to make love to him. I forget. It's one of those episodes that every Star Trek fan rants and raves about how stupid it was. And trust me, I've seen the little clip, and it looks pretty dumb, but. So I think Hallmark Channel owes Star Trek an apology for stealing.
Well, I mean, stuff. every Hallmark movie is a remake of a big Hollywood rom-com, or not. I mean, Groundhog's Day. Well, Groundhog's Day is a rom-com, so never mind. I stand by what I said.
Yeah. So, anything else that you watched recently before I chime in with my film review of the episode, if you will?
No, not really.
Okay. Well, I ventured out because we talked about it last week, and we mentioned how much I was looking forward to seeing the movie. My girlfriend and I did go see The Bike Riders. It was good. It was fine. I did not like Jodie Comer. I thought her character was, just basically she had a weird accent, and it was like, you're from Chicago, you're the Midwest, and I think they mentioned like her character's from somewhere else in the Midwest, but she had this really weird accent. And I don't know if it's because she's British or what, but that was, hot take incoming indeed, Justin. But I liked it overall. Minus, like I said, minus Jodie Comer's kind of weird accent. Everybody else was really good. I mean, now, Tom Hardy really did well with his role. Austin Butler, what's his name, right? That's the kid that played Elvis, right? Austin Butler, or is it Aaron Butler?
I think it's Austin.
It's Austin, okay. He did really well in the film. I mean, Michael Shannon was pretty good in it. So, yeah, overall, I really liked it. If I was grading it, I give it a B. I think it's a solid B.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, Jason, we have an email to read, and before
We do. It is from a lady named Liz, and it's from the broker episode. She was hoping to catch us live, but I don't think she did because I don't remember seeing a comment. It just says, "Hi, John, Jason, and Justin." If you don't know who Justin is, he's our producer. He's in the small little left-hand corner that you can't see. I'm hoping to make it to the Facebook Live tonight, but I've had a long weekend of multiple really late nights already. Seeing amazing concerts don't feel bad for me, so I may crash before then. Just wanted to chime in on the broker because it's probably in my top 5 favorite episodes. I love a Julie-centric episode, and we get some really sweet Ben and Julie moments in this one. Also, I think the first canon confirmation that they are in fact a couple when she tells him to tell his friend's wife that he's taken. Jerry Hardin is always a delight and as great as Avery Campbell. I know him, of course, from the X-Files, but I just saw him recently on an episode of Murder, She Wrote, where he played an annoying jerk who gets murdered. Not sure if he's a hat trick, but he was also on the Golden Girls as Blanche's gross professor who tries to get her to sleep with him in exchange for a good grade. He has impressive range. Thanks for doing this podcast. It's really fun to listen to other people geek out on the same things I do. Liz.
Thank you, Liz, very much for the email. And I was chuckling over the Golden Girls reference. I mean, it seems that Blanche had lots of gentleman callers, shall we say. But thank you, Liz, for the email. Appreciate it. Jason, it's right on the bottom of the screen, but let everybody know where they could send an email if they would like to do so.
Guys, email us, benmattalk@gmail.com. I get really excited. I screenshot it and I send it to the guys every time.
Yeah, and obviously as well, Facebook is another great place where you can find us. Mattalk Podcast is the handle over there on Facebook. You can drop your comments over there. And hey, listen, rate, review, subscribe. What's some of the other actions that I'm forgetting, Jason?
Rate, review, comment, subscribe.
Comment.
Hit that notification bell if you're on the YouTubes. Yeah.
Give us thumbs up, all that jazz, because again, we're just three guys. Excuse me, Justin. We are 3 guys who are bringing you bringing you all of these great shows. We appreciate it. We absolutely do. We say it all the time. In fact, who was I telling the other day about our great little podcast? I think it was another guest for my other podcast, telling them, and that individual thought it was cool as heck that we had this cool, interesting niche podcast. And Justin, we have a comment.
What's up, Aaron? Yeah, Blanche is a classy girl. I need to rewatch that. I don't remember much of the Golden Girls. I saw it maybe when it was on in the 80s, so I would have been like 6 or 7, and it wasn't like Matlock. Like I didn't watch the reruns or anything.
Well, I can't remember who had the reruns. Was it USA? Or maybe it was TBS. I don't remember.
Probably TBS. It was usually TBS.
Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, it was one that I caught quite a few episodes of. I didn't watch it every single week or that, but I've caught plenty of random episodes here and there.
Dude, TBS and WGN were how I watched my Matlock. I'd switch between the two because they'd have one at 10 and one at 11.
WGN. Is it still around? I think it's still around, isn't it?
I don't think so.
Okay. Can you Google that?
Oh yeah, I'm doing it right now.
You're doing it right now. Let's find out if WGN is still around. I don't know.
It is in Chicago.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I do remember it was a Chicago channel and the cable channels had picked it up.
Okay. Yeah, Justin also chimed in. It's still a thing. All right. Cool. All right. Well, then, Jason, let's get on into it here. Let's start our discussion and review of this episode of Matlock. So with that, let's get things going with our opening statement. The name of the episode is The Fighter, and the original air date is December 11th, 1990. Jason, we have a couple of guest stars, that we want to talk about here real quick. First one that we're going to talk about is a gentleman named Christopher Allport. He will be playing the role of Nick Underwood. You may also know him as District Attorney Dutton in the show The Heat of the Night. Jesse Atkinson on Dynasty. Clark on Days of Our Lives. Larry Peterson in the Atlanta Child Murders. Max Waxman in To Live and Die in L.A., and about 70 some odd other gigs. I'm sorry, I got distracted by we have another comment. Go ahead, Justin, throw that up there, please. They still have replays on the Hallmark Channel. Well, there you go. Jason, you're looking for something to watch in the afternoon?
I just signed up for the Hallmark Channel too, because it's 99 cents right now for Prime Day on Amazon.
Well, there you go. All right, let's get back to Christopher Allport. What do you think? I will say this real quick. I was a little bit confused. To Live and Die in L.A., I thought that was like the sequel to Escape from New York. I don't know why. Because the other doesn't Escape from New York, isn't it Escape from L.A.?
Yeah.
Isn't that the sequel? Okay. I clicked on To Live and Die in L.A. and found out it's like a murder crime movie. I'm like, oh, okay. All right.
Rest in peace. Yeah, he was also in the horror classic Jack Frost 2.
Yes. Okay. Yes, Mr. Allport. Yeah, also in Jack Frost. Did you like that one as a horror fan?
It is one of those like absurdly funny, like bad horror movies. I think that Shannon Elizabeth is in that one as well from American Pie fame.
Oh yeah. You know, one thing we didn't mention. Oh my, how could we overlook this? We've lost a few folks over the past couple of days. Shelley Duvall, Dr. Ruth, Richard Simmons, and of course today Shannon Doherty.
I know, man. It's so sad. Rest in peace to all of them.
Yes, absolutely. I thought Richard Simmons was much older than he was. 76 is not old.
Well, I guess the night before he was replying to birthday wishes online.
Oh, yeah, because he died on his birthday. That's a little. I don't know what to say. That's kind of very. I don't want to say heroic, but it's kind of. You know what I mean?
Poetic, I think. Is the
poetic. Word. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Oh man. All right, let's move on
to all of the above.
Right. That's right. But let's move on to our next guest star. Wanda de Jesus will be playing the role of Alana Leon. You may know her as Graciela Rivers in the movie Bloodwork, Estevez in the movie RoboCop 2, Marcella Leyva on Fatal Attraction, the TV series, Carla on The Sons of Anarchy, Iris on All My Children, Detective Adele Civilis on CSI Miami, Santana Andrade in Santa Barbara, and many, many other credits to her name.
I watched Fatal Attraction, the TV show, and I enjoyed it.
How long did that last?
A season. I think I'm the only one who enjoyed it. I don't know what people expected from a show based on Fatal Attraction, but it was exactly what I expected out of a show based on Fatal Attraction. It had a pretty solid cast to it, too.
I was just going to make the joke. Somebody at Nielsen's like, hey, there's one guy in Ohio watching this. Guys, gather around.
Joshua Jackson, Lizzie Kaplan, Amanda Peet, and Toby Huss. It was a pretty good show. I liked it. I
vaguely remember it. But
last year.
All right, our final one, ladies and gentlemen, our final guest star is Stanley Kamel, who will be playing the role of promoter Clayton Ross. Now, you may know him, Jason, you specifically, and other people should know him as Dr. Kroger on Monk. He's also played the role of Cody McCall on General Hospital, Arthur Payton on Mr. Sterling, Bruce Teller on Melrose Place, Mark Gilliam on LA Law, and he was actually also in a previous episode of Matlock, Season 1, Episode 14, called The Author. He played the role of Mark Douglas. This is about a lady, like a normal housewife. Jason, you'll remember this one. Mrs. Nelson, who wrote a tell-all book, and she modeled all the characters after people in the neighborhood, and the people in the neighborhood were mad. And then I think a reverend ends up dead somehow, and she gets blamed for it. And Ben has to take her case and get her out of jail, if you will, and out of hot water. So
I do remember that. No Perry Mason, but he was in Columbo and Murder, She Wrote as well. Mm-hmm. And rest in peace to him, too. He was awesome as Dr. Kroger on Monk.
Mm-hmm. All right, with that then, Jason, I have a question that I have to ask you. Are you ready, good sir, to give an opinion, only your opinion, and absolutely just your opinion, so help you? No? Oh, that's unfortunate. Then we can't
testify.
Never mind. We're going to testify. All right, the plot of this episode is that Ben helps a pro boxer accused of killing a sports reporter. Opening scene, we're going to see a lot of things affiliated with boxing. A boxing ring and gym, some gloves over on the shelf, a speed bag, which, Jason, out of curiosity, did you ever try your hand at the speed bag? Okay, I did. I suck at it. I'm really bad. I can't do this and hit the bag to save my life. I suck at it. So, anyways,
this might come as a shock to you, John, but I've never really been the most athletic guy in the world. I mean, I played some basketball back in the day, and as long as nobody like tackled me, I could do quarterback pretty well in football, and like a little bit of baseball when I was like super little, but no, sports have just never been my thing.
Well,
I know it's a shock. I know it with my athletic body that I have.
Yes, I noticed that. You're looking swole tonight. Can I just say that?
I know people think I'm outside a lot because I tan, but I have Italian like ancestors, so that's where I get my tan from. It's just natural.
Gotcha. Well, anyways, there's also some other shots of a heavy bag, and then we go right to the city of Chicago, and there's a press conference. And Billy Leon, it's been announced that he, the world heavyweight champion of boxing, has passed his steroids test. And so Billy has a bout in the ATL in about a month, and he's all ready to go. But one of the reporters in the crowd is, of course, Nick Underwood. And Nick Underwood was the individual that wrote the story about supposed steroid abuse with Billy Leon. So Billy's very mad at him. And so they kind of get in this, like he was at the press conference, they get into an argument back and forth a little bit. And then we see a scene where Nick is on the payphone. And he claims that he was fed wrong information, that somebody faked a bunch of information to make it look like Billy was on steroids, but he really wasn't. So Nick wants to get to the bottom of this. And Jason, what do you think so far? We're off and running with a humdinger of an episode, aren't we?
Heck yeah.
Well, Nick records all of his notes, and that's going to be something that's going to be important to this episode. He has a little handheld recording device, and he said that he's going to find out about who in Billy's inner circle maybe fed some wrong information to him and whatnot through his different interviews. We get a scene where it's 3 weeks later in Atlanta, and we get a public sparring event for Billy, where Billy's working out his jabs, his hooks, his uppercuts, et cetera, in the ring right out there in the kind of the garden, if you will, of the hotel. And his wife, Elena, is there. And basically she's kind of giving Clayton, the promoter, a little bit of a hard time because he's like, man, have you seen the pay-per-view buys? And she's like, yeah, you should have gotten a better deal. We're making all that money, et cetera, et cetera. Right from there, guess who shows up? Nick Underwood. And again, Billy gets really mad, gets argumentative. Nick gets kicked out of the public sparring event, and he actually even has a stool thrown at him too from the ring. So things are a little bit testy, if you will, so far, Jason.
Yeah, this dude just needs to chill. Like, this guy needs to calm down.
Who? Billy?
Yeah.
No, he's got to stay. Look, he's got that edge, man. He's got to keep that edge so he can fight, man. He can't tone it down right yet. He's on that one-way path to retaining his world heavyweight championship. He's got to be amped up, man.
Sorry, I'm letting the baggage from the rest of the episode cloud this scene. I'm sorry. I apologize, folks. Little spoiler alert for what's to come. Dude, we missed 2 guest stars too. One guest star. We had Nancy Stafford was a guest star.
Stop it.
This is the first episode she's been in since like episode 2.
Yeah, this has been a long absence for Nancy Stafford playing the role of Michelle Thomas. What, you're not going to mention that the other guest star?
Because he's been in most of the season, at least more than half the episodes, I'd say.
Okay. Well, Conrad is here for this episode as well. So,
freaking Ace Calhoun has been in more episodes than Michelle Thomas.
Wow, talking about people being testy, like Billy Leon. Excuse me, you're a little testy right now. So there's a very fancy hotel pre-fight, I guess you could say, event that they have for everybody involved. Mikey and Elena, they show up together, and all, of course, so is Clayton there. And they all have a little banter around one another. And guess who shows up again? Of course, Nick Wood. And again, he can't seem to get any type of comment from anybody. They're all very hostile to him and everything. And then he gets thrown out and gets ejected. Now, here's my question. Clayton says to security, get him out. He produces a room key, goes, paying customer. It seemed like he got to stay after saying he was a paying customer, but that's not how it would work in the real world, right, man? I mean, if you're a wedding crasher, you go to a hotel, you're at a hotel for whatever reason. Maybe you're at a business conference and you find out there's a wedding going on, a wedding reception. You can't just barge in.
No, I think he had credentials to be at the party. That's how I took it.
Oh, so he had press passes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'm allowed to be here, dude, bruh.
Okay.
Only they didn't say bruh back then, but that's what he was thinking.
No. He said bra after he finished his bottle of Prime and set it down. And then...
That's right, man. His Monster Energy drink and Red Bull.
All right, so Nick arrives at his room and he records his notes on his voice recorder, and then he gets a phone call. And this phone call, we can only hear one side of it, and we know that there's going to be a meeting at 9 p.m. Now, for our next scene, I did leave out a little note. What's wrong, Jason?
I said, or do we?
Do we? Oh, do we? Well, we can figure out that there's something going to be happening to Mr. Nick. Not sure if it's going to happen at 9 p.m. or not, but Billy was not at the event. He was not at the big, luxurious event. He was told to go and take a run. So he took a run. And so as he's running, he runs into a maid. And the maid is, okay, sorry about that. So she goes on down to Nick's room. Nick won't say anything. He's laying down on the desk. And she says, would you like me to turn down your bed? Would you like me to turn down your bed, sir? He doesn't answer, so she just goes on like it's an ordinary day, didn't she?
She did, man. I would have been like, I probably would have assumed he was asleep and left, because I don't think they're supposed to bother you if you're sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless you got to leave.
Yeah.
In that case, you call security. You don't have the maid kick them out, unless you do have the maid kick them out.
Yeah. Yeah. She starts turning down the bed, and then all of a sudden she's like, oh my God, he's dead. So we go to police headquarters. Sleepy Ben arrives. Come on. Tell me how much you love Sleepy Ben. Go.
I do love Sleepy Ben, and everything about this next scene, it surprises me how it plays out. So yeah, Sleepy Ben is going to meet his client, potential client, the boxer guy accused of murdering this press guy. And the press guy throws a fit in the room with Ben. He's throwing chairs and tables, and Ben gets out of there.
That was the boxer.
That's what I said. The boxer accused of killing the press guy. Oh. Ben gets out of there, and I assume Ben's like, nah, screw this guy. I thought it'd take some more convincing. He's like, no, just I'll add it to my fee. Like, you're taking the case? He's like, yeah, I'm taking the case. Because that guy would have just torn the other guy to shreds with his arms. He's not gonna kill him any other way.
I did like how the stereotypical nerdy lawyer Monroe, who was there because he just does like different types of law. He's never handled a homicide case, so he was there, and I felt like Ben was very annoyed with him. And it is a good point that Ben makes. Like, that dude Billy is so amped up that if he was in a confrontation, he'd probably murder the dude with his bare hands, and he's a big dude. That would make sense. However, though, one thing that we did not mention is that Billy carries a gun with him, because you just never know when two hands are not going to be enough. You need a good handgun to stop anybody's bad intentions, and that was in an unlocked drawer in his hotel room, and that's why it's now considered to be the murder weapon. So Ben and Bob Brooks visit the crime scene. And they notice that Nick's briefcase is empty. And Bob presents that, hey, here's some recordings that he made, the last couple that he made. So they play them. And according to the maid, Billy is seen leaving the area around 9:05. Now, I think this is, to me, my personal highlight of the show. We go to the courtroom, Jason. And the judge says, you, sir, will have to pay the bond of $1 million. Ben gets furious. $1 million? And I like how he argued with the judge, but then Billy's like, hold on. Is that all he needs? That's it. You got a pen? Like, and Ben is absolutely floored by this. That this man has $1 million and obviously does not even care about, like, oh, that's nothing, man. I'll pay that. What'd you think about this scene?
I think he should have shut up and seen if Ben could got it lower. But I mean, they get the money back, right? If they're found innocent.
Well, and that's the thing. If I recall correctly, you have to pay 10% of that bail.
Okay. Yeah, it's like a down payment in case you run away, right?
Yes, correct. It's a down payment. So if you come back for your trial, then you get that money restored to you. But yeah, it's only 10%. So, I mean, honestly, it's $100,000. So really, I don't know why Ben was so shocked by this. It's really not going to be $1 million, Ben. You know, unless I did the math wrong, it's going to be $100,000. So now we go to a great scene where Ben is in his kitchen and he's having coffee with who? Ace Calhoun. And they're talking about the case. We're talking about boxing. Ace says that he was a boxer. He was in the pinweight division, which doesn't exist, according to Ben. Flyweight is the lowest.
And I do want to point out, IMDb says that this is a throwback to the Andy Griffith episode titled Andy, the Marriage Counselor, where they did a very similar thing. And I gave Don Knotts a lot of crap the last time he was on as Ace Calhoun. I love him as Ace Calhoun in this episode. It's fantastic.
Yeah, because he gets a little taste of his own medicine a little bit. You know what I mean? Like he's so annoying, and then he gets a little taste of it. So basically, they do this like demonstration where Ace is going to show how to throw a hook. I think it was left hook or right hook. Doesn't matter. But he's showing Ben, and they do it in slow motion. He's like, that's how you would do it. You know, move my head this way. I counter here, blah, blah, blah. Let's do it real speed, right? And you know what's going to happen. You just know. But still, it was pretty funny to see. And boom, Ben punches him right in the nose. Justin wants to know if that makes him a hooker.
That's funny.
No, because Ben would have giggled like a elementary school kid. Remember, he's very mature that way. Very mature. So
this fits the scene. I liked it a lot. I thought this is a good use of Don Knotts' character.
I agree. And I like how he yelled, I have coffee at home, when he left. He just left abruptly because Michelle and Conrad show up. And they have like boxes full of Nick's recordings, all right, from months and months and months. So here's the part technically that I liked about this episode, is that we're going to have 3 interviews, but it's all going to be jump cutted together in a really cool and creative way. I like this. So Ben's going to interview Clayton Ross. All right, Michelle's going to interview Alana. Conrad's going to interview Mikey. And so basically what comes out of those 3 interviews, even though they're jump cut together, is that Ben presumes and thinks that Clayton planted the story about the steroids and fed the information to Nick because that would create more, buzz. That he's not. He kept Billy in the public eye. Elena supposedly had an affair with another boxer, and Mikey is accused of fixing fights, especially early on in Billy's career. So I liked how they did all of those different segments, and they the way they cut them and edited them. That was good. All of them have an alibi. They were at the pre-fight event for the whole time. So overall, I really liked this scene. What did you think about it?
No, I agree. I liked it too. Creative use of the format and the time with, as many characters as they have in this particular episode. Because this is more, I make jokes, but this is, probably the highest number of characters we've had that are main characters in a while.
Yeah. Well, Ben arrives home. Michelle follows him, and then Conrad's last, and they all say in unison, I think I know who the killer is. So this is a perfect point where they take a commercial break and they come back. And all 3 of them are, again, in Ben's living room, still talking about the case when Ace Calhoun arrives. And Ace claims that he is a gray belt in karate. And so he's going to show Ben.
John, what is a gray belt? It's a senior citizen belt.
Which does not exist for those listeners out there that may or may not know.
And again, fantastic. Great use of Don.
Yeah, so basically Don's going to show how to disarm somebody with a knife. All right. And so he shows in slow motion, hooks the wrist, yada, 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 blocks this, et cetera, et cetera. So when they do it for real, though, Ben comes at him and he blocks him, but the momentum of Ben is forcing tiny, petite Don Knotts to the floor with Andy Griffith over top of him. And again, Ace is embarrassed by this. All right. And
he gets mad and leaves again.
He does. and I love how Michelle's like just shocked by his demeanor. Like, why does he do these things? That was the best.
Which is what we're all wondering every time he shows up in these episodes.
All right. So one of the things that Ben theorizes is that Nick's body was moved, that he didn't die reading the newspaper because he has to have glasses to read, and there were no glasses to be found. So all three of them, Conrad, Ben, and Michelle, they go talk to the hotel manager about the chairs. All right. And so they're talking about, can the chairs be swapped out, et cetera, et cetera. And the manager's like, no, they're all unique to each room, et cetera, et cetera. Gives him some more details about the chairs that are really not very important at the time. Clayton shows up and says that he saw a red stain on Mikey's suit sleeve, which everyone, Michelle, Ben, Conrad, you and I know that's a bunch of malarkey, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. So Ben orders Conrad to keep an eye on Clayton. So we get another scene of another sparring event. And Mikey, he swoons over Michelle. Okay, of all the men that have swooned over Michelle, I got to say this is kind of in the middle of the road. This is not the worst one. This is not the best one. This was kind of in the middle of the road. Mikey was trying to be respectful and turn on the charm, but no dice on that one.
No.
And then there's this weird snippet where like Michelle chats with Alana, and I was like, why is this in here? It really doesn't move anything forward, but it does segue us to Mikey's hotel room where he shows Ben his suit, and the red stain is cocktail sauce, because as we found out, Mikey likes to eat, especially if it's free food, you know? That's something him and Ben have in common, you know?
He doesn't like free food.
Well, I can tell you, what would you, okay, I'll throw it out there. How about free pad thai? That's how, I don't know much. Pad thai. Would you eat free pad thai?
It depends on where I'm getting the free food from. Like if it's a homeless person on the side of the road.
Oh, come on.
I'm not going to eat it. If I get it from a restaurant, I'll eat it. Why wouldn't I eat free pad thai?
Okay. How about this? How about free Peking duck?
Sure. I've always wanted to try duck. It's like $100 thing. Of course I'll eat free duck.
Okay. Grilled Spam. Free.
Sure. I've never had Spam either. I'd love to try Spam.
Justin just sent us a private message going, where are you going with this?
I know. I'm confused too.
Well, because I just thought, Ben likes free food. Mikey likes free food. I just was checking to see if you would
turn down free food, John?
I would, depending on what it is. If it was pad thai, I'd be like, no thanks, I don't like it. I'll tell you right now, if it was, and here's the other thing, if it was a free hot dog and it was broiled and not grilled, nah, I ain't eating it. I like my hot dogs grilled.
Folks, I will eat free food. I'm not going to complain. They have toppings and stuff to mask any flavor I don't like. Unless you've got boils on your hand and you're handing me food, I don't want to eat it. But if I'm at a restaurant, then I will eat it. I'm so confused by this entire conversation. Like, who's going to turn down? I know Justin's not turning down free pad thai.
Yeah. Justin, come on. Come on, sir. Let's hear it. Would you turn down free food?
No, he wouldn't.
I don't know.
I'm surprised you would, John.
Nope, all the free food. Look, I'm just saying, for me,
you're the cheapest person I know, and you would turn down free food?
Yes, because it depends on the food. I'm just saying.
Dude, they have toppings. Just put ketchup on it.
Ketchup?
Or mustard, whatever your topping of choice is.
All right, this is...
Yum sauce, salt and pepper.
Except oysters, not in it to win it there. Oysters are disgusting, Justin.
I don't mind oysters. I've had them before. They're all right.
All right. Well, you know what, folks? We got off track a little bit. we want to get back on track. But
You
before
guys
we do
tell
that,
John the right answer to this question. You guys can email us at benmattalk@gmail.com.
or you can find us on Facebook at Mattalk Podcast. All right, we've gotten way off track. Let's get back to it here. Mikey is very concerned about like Billy finding out he fixed those fights, but Ben's like, look, whatever comes up in trial comes up in trial. And so Ben gets a clue because he's looking at the signs for the hotel room numbers, and he finds a clue. So Michelle and Ben go back to Nick's room, and it's right there while they're looking at the layout of the room that, aha, I got it, says Ben. So we go to the courtroom. Ben calls Alana to testify. Billy's like, whoa, 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 I thought we weren't doing that. But Ben goes, trust me, I got to do this. Ben questions Alana about Tom Kirby. Tom Kirby is the boxer that Elena had an affair with. And this I wrote down. I assumed from the way it was kind of discussed earlier in the episode that Billy knew that and that he was cool with it. Like, you know, they worked through it and it was, but apparently not, because he's shocked as the day is long that, what? I mean, well, did you feel the same way, or did you say no? You know,
I it made sense. I didn't think he knew about it. He was, he's not a happy
oh,
guy.
no.
Especially since, you know, she kind of framed him for it too.
Yeah, more on that in a minute. Elena hopes that Billy would forgive her. And Ben goes, you know what? This guy here's a hothead. He ain't going to think through things. No. He found out that you were cheating. He would dump you in a heartbeat. He would divorce you immediately. No sports cars, no mansions, no flashy clothes, nothing. And that basically the theory is from Ben that Elena killed Nick. And so Ben plays the last recordings of Nick, and then Ben reads the transcript to the jurors. A meeting at 9 is not meaning what we think it meant. We thought that meant time and place, or excuse me, time, not place, but it actually means place. The 9th room in the hotel. And so Helena is in room 9. Basically then Conrad brings in 3 chairs from the hotel. Ben has a map of the hotel and shows where the layout is for all these various different rooms. And that Ben feels that since Nick was in room 17, it's the only chair that gets sun on it because it sits right by the big giant window. And that chair 9 is faded from the sun. But no. That's not chair 9. It's chair 17. That's the chair in which Nick died in. And so chair 17 wasn't faded. Alana wheeled Nick from her room to room number 17. Now, okay, this is my big gripe. Jason, let's just say, for example, I'm in a rolly chair right here, right? Okay. Can be wheeled around my home. But if I was just a victim of a heinous crime, say a stabbing, for an example, wouldn't there be a blood trail from this desk right here all the way down the hallway, all the way into my wherever you stop pushing me?
No, John, because there's no blood in the 80s and 90s. Didn't you know that? We didn't bleed back then. Like, I don't know how many of these shows you've watched so far, John, but there's never any blood.
Well, I just think, like, I was like, come on, man. There's not a blood trail.
No, the murderers are always nice, and they clean up the bodies, they clean up the floor around the bodies.
And in earlier scene, it looks like Nick's laying in a puddle of blood. So where'd that puddle of blood come from? Because they would have leaked it all out on the coming across the hallway.
Well, she made sure it didn't bleed until she got there.
Oh, so she put her 2 fingers in the gaping wound to hold it in. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, something like that, man. They didn't really bleed back then. That's a new occurrence, bleeding.
Oh, okay.
That's something that started driving me nuts on shows. I know they're older shows, but to just have no blood when somebody gets shot or stabbed, like anywhere, it just.
Justin just commented, I like how someone bleeding, John calls it leaking. Oops, don't mind my leak. All right, well, with that, Elena breaks down in tears. Billy is found innocent. And then for the last ridiculous thing, Billy, Ben, Michelle, Conrad, all in the hallway. Somebody says something about Billy handling it well. How you doing? So what does he do? He hauls off and punches a hole through the door of the courtroom. Now, isn't that like some vandalism charges or something?
That's the exact same thought I had. This guy, man, is just, he needs some anxiety meds. Do they have anxiety back then? I think anxiety is also a new thing.
No, there's plenty of anxiety. He could have gotten medicine. He could have gotten some therapy for it. But again, you cannot just randomly it might be a federal case because it might be a federal courthouse, dummy.
Well, John,
I almost cussed a lot there in that little rant. But anyway,
are you gonna tell him that?
No. All right, Jason, anything else that you want to chat about?
No, man, I'm good.
Let's go ahead and get into our closing statements.
This is the part of the podcast where John and I will rate this show on a gavel system. 1 gavel means we absolutely did not like it. 5 gavels means we loved it. Negative 37 million gavels means that we are going to become boxers in the low weight class. We're going to become the worst valued player ever in boxing. John, what do you rate this episode?
Time out. I'm gonna share some information. Just went for my checkup at my doctor's. Jason, I don't think I'm gonna be in the light heavyweight division. All right. I mean, I clocked in at 200. I'm not proud of that fact. So I'm
at 205, man. I guess
we're not in the flyweight division, brother.
I've lost 20 pounds, but I'm still like I'm there. I'm working on it. But whatever. We're gonna be bad.
Right. Look, I'm gonna get KO'd like that. I bet I have. I've been punched in the face in a long time. No, I have been punched in the face. It's hockey, folks. I've been punched in the face before. I think I have a glass chin. I don't think I'd fare well in the ring. But okay, you asked me what did I give this rating. I gave this a 4. I thought that I liked the comedy with Ben and Ace. I thought that was good. I liked that boxing was something of a different setting, like a different world for the crime to be injected into. I really love those edits that they made, as we mentioned about when the 3 interviews went on. I just felt like the faded chair and then moving Nick's body and the blood trail and then Billy punching the door. I felt like the last 5 minutes of this episode was ridiculous and kind of went. So I gave it a 4, though. I enjoyed the first, they're 48-minute episodes. I enjoyed the first 40 minutes. The last 8 were kind of but I gave it a 4.
I agree. I give it a 4 too. I didn't mind the last 8 minutes. The whole episode was fun. Again, Ace Calhoun was used the way Ace Calhoun should be used in these episodes. And there's nothing else really to say that John didn't say, but definitely check it out.
All right. There you go. Well, that ends our discussion and review of course, The Fighter. Let's talk about our own personal podcasting projects. Jason, what's happening, man?
3 Geeks Podcast. We are out of control. We keep taking weeks off. Life is happening, guys. Life is happening all the time. Justin and I are still interviewing throughout the week, so those are coming. But things are happening. But the goal is to take no more episodes off for the rest of the summer. So fingers crossed. But come check us out. I'm planning a remake Revolution here very, very soon, where I'm going to have 2 people pitch me a rom-com featuring 2 beloved childhood characters, kind of like my Inspector Gadget Amelia Bedelia idea.
I just want you to know that should be your catchphrase. We're out of control. I think
we're out of control.
We're out of control. I think that should be a T-shirt. 3 Geeks Podcast. We're out of control. I think that would work.
Oh man, life happens, and you just get tired, and you're like, I don't want to talk tonight, and then you don't talk. Or Justin leaves, and me and Max don't know what to do without Justin, so we're just like, well, we'll just not do it.
Yeah, you know what? Justin is a fantastic producer. We couldn't do this show without him because it makes things run so much smoother, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you, Justin. All right, I'll get back on. We just get tired. That's actually not a bad catchphrase either.
But anyway, guys, follow us at 3 Geeks Podcast. Email us 3geekspodcast@gmail.com. Follow me at 3geeksj. And John, you're going to want me to take you out for steak, my friend, but I don't want to spend it all in one place. I made my first check from Facebook. I don't know if you know, but I switched my Facebook account to a professional account because I've got a lot of people sending me messages and want to follow me. So I switched, and I made money off Facebook on my personal account last month.
Good,
and
man.
Again, you're going to want me to take you out for steak. But again, I'm not spending it all in one place. My whole $2.20 is going to stay right there in my savings account, John. It's fantastic.
Hey, that's $2.20 you didn't have 2 days
That's
ago.
what I'm
right?
saying. That's
Right.
almost a Red Bull. So one more month of posting on Facebook, Red Bull. Again, guys, hit like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on everything.
Well, let's talk about the PVD cast, which is my own personal podcasting project.
Sorry, guys, we are out of time.
No, stop. Make sure to claim on your taxes. Well, anyways, the PVD cast this week has a filmmaker, Kaipo Balker. He's a gentleman from Seattle that is working on a short film. It's a Western, but it's kind of a little bit more interesting, more unique than your standard typical good guy, bad guy Western. And so that's playing right now over at pvdcast.com or wherever you find great podcasts. And I don't know why I have. Okay, thank you. That was I wasn't ready for that. You should have cued me on that you were going to do that.
Well, that wouldn't have been the fun of it, John.
Oh, okay. I rolled with it, though. You see that?
You did. You slowed down for like a second, and then you kept going.
That's right. That's it.
It's a professionalism, folks.
Hey, as we all know, in some people's minds, I'm very professional.
That's right.
Anyways.
As I say in court, nothing further.